Alright, man, welcome back to another reaction. Today we got Logan Paul's scam isn't over. So now, if you're not familiar with Logan Paul's scam, about 6 months ago, Logan was making a game called CryptoZoo, and essentially, long story short, he was making a game, never brought out the game, and stole a bunch of people's money. If you want to learn any more about that whole situation, I'll make sure to leave the videos in the description. Now, for this one, let's not waste any more time, though. It just gets right into this. This looks absolutely interesting.
6 months ago, I investigated CryptoZoo, a scam created by Logan Paul and a team.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched CryptoZoo, you should definitely go watch that before you watch this one. That is, whoo, that 3-part series is absolutely fucking amazing, man. Absolutely amazing.
Of criminals, oh, and a dude named Jeff, which ultimately resulted in millions of dollars being stolen from fans. I was threatened with a lawsuit for exposing it, but ultimately,
that never
Logan
happened.
Paul decided to thank me instead for his public undressing and announced a $1.8 million refund to the victims. Now, I thought that was a great ending to the story, but I also said this: I'll follow up in the future to make sure that he actually gives that money away, and that's why we're here today.
Damn, because he didn't,
been
huh?
6 months, so here's a follow-up.
He
Logan
definitely
Paul
didn't give the money.
has not paid back his victims. He hasn't talked about it since he first announced he was going to pay them back. And what's worst of all, he doesn't seem to have a plan in place to refund anyone. How do I know that? Well, because I've been asking Logan for that plan to refund people the entire time behind the scenes in messages like these. Quote, "Hey Logan, following up on the zoo refunds, when should people expect those? It's been about a month." And then a month later, following up again. People are wondering what's going on. Almost been 2 months. Very frustrating for victims to get promises and then see nothing and get zero communication.
Wow,
Later,
he literally...
Hey Logan, following up for a third time, it's been over 5 months since you promised to refund the victims of CryptoZoo over $3 million. I meant to say $1.8 million there. The price of crypto changed a lot, so what this buyback was going to be was constantly changing. I just misspoke there. Either way, my point was this, quote, "You haven't contacted any of them, nor explained why you haven't done what you said you'd do. Meanwhile, you got public credit for promising to do this." And
Yeah, obviously he was like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then, like, just was hoping people would just fucking forget.
all of this, Logan didn't
Since he hasn't paid, I want this whole thing to fucking resurface and come bite him in the ass again. Because it's just, the amount of disrespect is fucking crazy,
respond
man.
to, which is odd since he was such
This
a
is
fan
his
of
own
reaching
community,
out
too, chat. Like, this is his own community, bro. I couldn't even fucking imagine, dude. Are you kidding me?
personally.
Like,
You know, instead of making things public.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did reach out to you, and I got no response. In fact, the only response I got came on my 4th attempt to reach Logan, but this one came from his criminal defense lawyers. A guy named Jeffrey Neiman emailed me after my 4th attempt saying, "Steven, see inserted on behalf of Logan Paul." To be honest, I had no idea who Logan Paul was until I researched the lawyer and learned that he, quote, regularly defends individuals and corporations in white-collar criminal litigations. And that's when I realized, oh, that Logan Paul. Why didn't you just say you defended alleged white-collar criminals? Would have saved me a Google search.
holy
So I opened
shit.
up the letter and it read,
Real and
"We
true,
represent
though. Oh
Logan
my
Paul.
god.
Mr. Paul has informed us of your outreach about the status of the CryptoZoo buybacks. Mr. Paul remains committed to this process. We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal. In the meantime, please direct to our attention any further inquiries to Mr. Paul. Thank you for your patience and understanding." Now, that...
So, essentially, what he got was Logan was saying, hey, you know, if you wanted to actually get information or actually learn about this, you should have contacted me. And then now Coffee's contacting him. And then Logan just had this other company come and be like, hey, don't contact Logan. If you want to learn any more about this, you contact us. So it's like, it's all fucking
like
dumb,
a
dude.
good step in the right direction.
No, it's not.
At least we got a response on behalf of
No,
Logan.
it's not a good, I don't give a fuck. It's not good. It's not a good
But when
step
I
in the
read
right
their
direction.
response carefully, I realized things were actually worse than I thought. Because 2 things are absent from this statement. 1, a timeline for refunds, and 2, a plan for refunds. I mean, you have this abominable statement which says, "We are working with Mr. Paul to evaluate the best way to achieve this goal." So you're still at the whiteboard then. Guys, this is a statement you say when you have no plan or you're stalling, right?
6 months
you
later.
Say, we're evaluating the best options. I mean, that's where Logan was back in January. He was evaluating. Am I supposed to believe 6 months later, you guys haven't figured this out? You
No, he's
gathered
just
all
not
the boys
doing
in
it.
the office.
He's just not doing it.
Brainstorming every single day. How do we refund people? And you don't know? I mean, listen.
That's just because other things. That's just because other things that Logan probably thinks is more important has came up, bro. And
Logan
period.
did back in January.
In reality, no, it's not. It's not more important. He needs to get this done and get this fucking figured out.
I'm not even sure what there is to even still figure out, because way back then, January 16th, he said, I've committed more than 1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed. Players will be able to burn their base eggs and base animals for their mint price. I mean, there it is. That's the plan. Pay a blockchain dev to code that up and pay the victims their money. That's it. But we see absolutely no sign of that. And it's not for a lack of Logan having the cash. He's on a world tour for Prime right now, bragging about how much money his drink company is making.
In January of this year, we did 45 million.
Oh, only in January?
Yeah.
Wow, 45 million is a good month.
Yeah, and man, I really just hope he just fucking pays everyone. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, dude, he makes so much fucking money, right? Tens of millions of dollars. The fact that he wouldn't just pay, you know, everyone who got fucking scammed, just give them all the money back, and then we're okay. Don't do it again. All right, boom, you're okay. But no, instead he's being fucking stingy about it, being a little bitch, and
also,
no one's getting their
January
money.
Happens to be the same month Logan promised those CryptoZoo refunds. So there's no good explanation for why Logan hasn't refunded his victims yet, because he had a plan back in January. He had the money. But there's even less of a good explanation for why he hasn't explained himself for the delay to either me privately or to the victims publicly, who are just waiting around for months with no word about the status of their promised refund. Now, eventually, I do believe Logan will address this. I think he has to.
He definitely
I
has
think
to.
he'll probably point to a lawsuit that he's in for the reason he couldn't speak. He had to be silent. Only he's tried this before, and it didn't make a lot of sense then either.
I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally, and the advice was, while actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place that Coffeezilla highlighted in his series, I had to stay silent. And for a year, I'm hounding Jeff. Hounding Jeff. How do we make this right?
All right, let's get this straight. Logan was dying to make CryptoZoo right the first time, but was legally required to be silent until a YouTuber talked about it? Did the judge magically unseal his lips when my video dropped? I'm confused. He's not prevented from explaining himself, and he's certainly not legally prevented from giving people their money back. Even if you want to argue the point that maybe Logan might look...
I don't think anyone's arguing. If you're arguing the point, you're just a bozo, dude. Like...
Or guilty.
Millions of... Go back and watch the original, fucking scam videos. Millions of dollars were taken from people that trusted in Logan. Literally from his own community. Like... I don't know how to fucking... That's just...
Pay victims. Well,
it just boggles my fucking mind that the people who help you get there, who help you get to the top, you're gonna fucking grab shit from them as you're going up. Like, oh my god, dude.
Sure, but he already did that, though. He said he felt so bad that he was gonna refund $1.8 million to the affected people who invested. But actually delivering that promise doesn't add any layer of admission to that guilt. He already said he was responsible. At this point, refunding people is just doing what he said he was going to do from the beginning. No,
refunding people is doing the bare minimum.
Logan hasn't paid, if I had to guess, it's just because either he does not want to pay, he cannot be bothered to pay on time, or he's just stalling. All of which are unacceptable. Because let me remind you of his promise. Quote, I have committed more than $1.8 million for those who do not want to wait for CryptoZoo to be completed.
Yeah, so where's the money then?
Said, and the people are tired of waiting, including me. After months of trying to work behind the scenes and ask questions behind the scenes privately,
He's finally bringing it to
I'm
light.
just out of ideas, and I'm
Good.
stuck trying to speak to Logan in the only language I believe he understands. Self-interest. Logan, if I could speak to you for a second. Okay, bring in the camera.
Oh, here we go.
This isn't worth your time. Getting publicly flogged like this every 6 months? What are we going to be doing this in a year? No. Okay? It's not worth your time. It's barely worth my time. Just please pay the people back what you owe. Give them a real timeline, a real plan, and then we can all go back to pretending you've changed.
I mean, oh my god, I just clicked the next video because I was trying to pause it and the video ended.
6 months.
Oh my god, I was trying to pause it because I was going to say, holy shit, real and true.
Okay? It's not worth your time. It's barely worth my time. Just please pay the people back what you owe. Give them a real timeline, a real plan, and then we can all go back to pretending you've changed.
Jesus. I mean, real and true. Literally, just give the fucking money back. What are you doing? Wow. I mean, this guy right here. I am almost impressed by Logan's ability to always be in the wrong. Holy shit, you summed it up pretty well right there, buddy. Goddamn. Well, yeah, overall, hopefully Logan returns that motherfucking money. He's a little bitch if he doesn't. Yeah. Yo, make sure to go subscribe to Coffeezilla if you haven't already, man. Goddamn, what an absolute motherfucking banger, bro. What an absolute banger. Hey, yo, if you liked the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time, man. Deuces.